Volume is the measure of a three-dimensional object to tell you how much that object will hold. Today, we are going to focus on three objects: a cylinder, a cone, and a sphere. Now, with our cone, we need to realize that it has a base of a circle. And what that means is the first thing that we need to do is find the area of the base. Now, to find the area of the base, we have to multiply pi times the radius squared. Then, once we find the area of that base, we can multiply the height of the cylinder with that number, and we'll have our volume. So, let's look at this canister that holds potato chips. If we have a radius of 9 and a height of 20, the first thing we're going to do is square 9, and 9 squared is 81, and then multiply that by 20. When we do that, we can then multiply 1,620 by pi, and that gives us a volume of 5,086 and 8/10 inches cubed. It's very important that you have your units and you write that it is cubed, because you're multiplying three different units of inches, so it has to be cubed. Our next image that we're going to look at is a cone. The interesting thing about a cone is that it is 1/3 of the size of a cylinder. So to find the volume of a cone, all you have to do is work the problem exactly like how you would do for a cylinder, and then in the end you divide by 3. So if my radius is 4, 4 squared is 16, and I multiply that by the height of 9, that gives me 144. 1/3 of 144 is 48, and I have to multiply that by pi to get 150 and 72/100 centimeters cubed. Again, make sure you put your units and you put your exponent of 3 at the end to indicate that this is volume. And our last object is a sphere. Now we know that when we deal with three-dimensional objects, we have to have three numbers that we multiply. Well, with a sphere, it is a circle all the way around, so the only dimension that we have for a circle is the diameter and the radius. Well, we know that when we're finding the area of a circle, we use the radius. So in this instance, we need to cube that measurement instead of squaring it. So we're going to raise 13 to the 3rd power. And of course that means 13 times 13 times 13, which gives us 2,197. We multiply that by 4/3, and we get 2,929 and 3/10 repeating. And our final step is to multiply that by pi, and our volume for this is 9,198 and 1/10 feet cubed. So again, you need to pay attention to your measurements, plug them into whichever formula you are looking at, and multiply it all the way to the end, and then round to the nearest tenth unless you are otherwise told to round to a different number.